In this question, we're asked to look at the decomposition of nitrous oxide. We see that there are two steps. The first question asks us to write the balanced reaction overall. So the easiest way to do this is to literally add up the components of the reaction on either side of the arrow. So on the left side of the equation, we see that we get O and then 2 and 2 O's. And on the right hand side of the reaction, we get 2N2 plus O plus O2. And now we can cancel out any elements that appear on both the right and left side in equal amounts. So in this case, O appears in both the left and right side of the reaction. Thus, the overall reaction is 2N2O yields 2N2 plus O2. That is the answer to part F. Part G asks if the oxygen atom is a catalyst or if it's an intermediate. The O atom is an intermediate because it is formed and then consumed during the course of the reaction. A catalyst is a molecule or element that is present throughout the reaction. So if the oxygen atom were a catalyst, it would have been present at the beginning and at the end. But we see that our end products do not contain a lone oxygen atom. Thus, the answer to G is intermediate. Finally, part H asks us to identify the slower step in the mechanism if the rate law for the reaction was determined to be rate is equal to K times the concentration of N2O. If we look at step 1, we see that N2O is the only reactant in this reaction, in just step 1. And if we look at the rate, we see that it is just dependent on N2O. So we can conclude that step 1 is slower than step 2. If step 2 had been slower, then we would also see an oxygen. But since we only see that the rate is dependent on N2O, the slower step must be step 2.